Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon. And you know what? I'm really, really excited for The Hobbit. Like, you have no idea how excited for The Hobbit I am. When the Lord of the Rings set came along, I was super pumped for that too. I was financially irresponsible during that set. Um, and I got a whole bunch of it. And one of the coolest things was the box toppers for that set. They were really cool. I got a Balin's Tomb, a bunch of different stuff. And in the Hobbit set, we're getting a treatment that I am absolutely ecstatic about. But at the same time, I'm really sad because I already know what's going to happen with this, right? And I'm talking about the Dwarven Rune cards. Picture up on the screen of the Mox Amber. They will be cards that are in the Dwarven runes of Lord of the Rings. Oh my god, I am so excited for these. But I don't think I'm ever going to get to own one. And that kind of sucks, and I kind of wanted to talk about it today. So for those of you who don't know, who aren't familiar with Magic's more recent past, so we know that treatments like this, or like the super mega special Infinity Stones and things like that, those are all only in collector boosters, which kind of sucks, right? Like, you have to buy the $40 booster pack to have a chance at getting something like this. That was not always the case. We had a system called masterpieces and invocations. They started expeditions, where in like Zendikar there were very special treatments of lands. I'll throw one of them up on screen. And then in Amonkhet they had the invocations like Force of Will, etc., that were Egyptian looking. And then in Kaladesh we had the masterpieces, which had the really cool like filigree style art on them and border. And those came in draft boosters. They were incredibly rare. I only ever opened up 2 masterpieces. A Mana Vault, which I sold because I'm stupid. Stupid. And a Scroll Rack, which I also sold because I'm stupid. But you at least had the chance to open it up in these. Nowadays, you have to open up a collector booster. And in collector boosters, you can open up in the modern sets anything from the Jumpstart sets, the Commander product, the regular set, and the odds are still incredibly low of opening one of these cards. But it feels a lot worse to open up a $45 Commander or Magic pack and not open one of these than it does to open up like a $7 pack of Magic and not get one of these. And then they go for just absolutely insane prices. And it just kind of makes me sad because, you know, I'm a working class individual. I do have a large collection that's worth tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of dollars. But I accumulated that over many years, and much of it before the spike happened during COVID, when everything got turned into an investment vehicle. So cards that I bought for pennies on the dollar are now worth an insane amount. But I'm priced out of things like this. I can't buy this super cool collector Mox Amber. And I suppose that's okay. It makes me sad, right? Like, this is me kind of complaining about how we used to have it. Wizards said that people didn't like the masterpieces or the invocations. Admittedly, the invocations art, the wording on it was incredibly difficult to read, but I would argue it was better than, you know, some of the like comic art and stuff that's slapped onto cards with the like black around the border of the words. Still better than that. But I wish, at least, like, even if it's a super low drop rate, I wish these were still in play boosters. I wish that the average Magic player still had a chance at getting something like this, right? Can you imagine being like that kid that's like 12 years old and you buy a regular booster pack, a play booster, and you open it up and you got this Mox Amber with these runes on it? Imagine showing that to your friends. That would be sick. That'd be sweet. That would be amazing. It's not going to happen. Can't happen. You got to get collector packs, most likely. I mean, maybe they have it as a box topper. I highly doubt that. I really, really highly doubt that. I'm going to assume that these are just like the bonus sheet that's only in collector boosters. And this ties back to a bigger issue in Magic, which is Magic has been shifting more towards whales. And like you would think that I'm a whale, right? Because my collection is so vast. But I cannot afford a lot of Magic cards on a day-to-day basis. I can't. Just can't do it, friends. It's just not that that affordable for me, right? And I can't afford to spend like what are Hobbit collector boosters going for right now? Like $800 for the booster box. I'm not going to spend on a booster box half, or actually it's more than half of my monthly mortgage payment on a box of cardboard. I can't justify that. Maybe when I was younger and had no responsibilities and did not have a child to send to college, did not have a mortgage, did not have a family and other responsibilities, maybe I could save up and do that. But I can't do that anymore. And so really, who is this for? And this we're going to circle back to a conversation I had, or not circle back. We're going to go to a conversation I had with my friend Jason. My friend Jason, he is single. He has a pretty high income for our area, very low expenses. And we were talking about Magic 30, the thing they had a couple of years ago where they essentially did like alpha boosters where it was all the original cards, but they weren't real cards. They were just like proxies essentially. And they were selling them for like $500 per booster pack. That's a product that would have been perfectly designed for him. He's a whale inside of Magic, right? He just spent like $1,200 on altered cards, or $1,000 or something like that. That's who like they should be like, and that's the type of person that should, in essence, be targeted by things like this. But he was priced out of like Magic 30, right? He wasn't going to spend $400 or $500 or whatever it was on a Magic 30 booster pack to like have the tiny chance of like getting a proxy Black Lotus, which isn't even a real Black Lotus, right? And when it comes to collector booster boxes, he's got kind of the same mentality. He's priced out of those as well, where he's like, what's the point? It's just gambling. He can just buy a single card if he really, really wants it. But even some of these single special treatment cards, nowhere will he justify that. And so if you're even losing like that kind of whale, who is left for these, right? It's the haves instead of the have-nots. Your average Magic player can't ever get one of these, and never will, unless they're insanely lucky. And then most of the time, they end up having to sell it because it's worth so much money that it could be temporarily life-changing. It could help make sure they get caught up with rent and things like that. Leaving these cards in the hands of people who make a lot of money, or people who treat it like an investment, right? There are some people that will save for a long time to try to get things with this and hopefully get it in there, but I just wish Magic was more affordable to the working class. I wish that the regular folks had more of a chance of opening something like this Mox Amber. I think it would be a very good thing, both from a marketing standpoint and for a feel good in the game. And I know a lot of people argue that this has always been a luxury hobby. It's always been expensive. And to some degree, that's true. But the game wasn't really that expensive for me as a kid. My first job was $5.15 an hour. And I could get booster packs for like $3, $3.50. Not too bad. Dual lands, I remember when those, I remember when Underground Sea was $30. That wasn't terrible, right? That wasn't the worst. And yeah, I'll stop my ranting about it. Not even really ranting. I'm just kind of sad because Lord of the Rings is up there for things I love in this world, right? Magic's up there. History is up there. As far as things that, aren't my family, right? Lord of the Rings is something I I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books. I love the expanded lore. I love the movies. And I love the entire world. And if I could, I would own something like this. Not because I'd be like, oh, look, this thing's worth hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars. But because I'd be like, look at this thing. This cool thing that represents a piece of the lore of Lord of the Rings. This is something I would put in one of my decks with pride. It would probably go in the Thorin Oakenshield deck because he's going to be based around artifacts. Like, I'm going to make a Thorin Oakenshield deck. It's just going to happen, friends. And I would love to have something like this in there, but I won't be able to. And neither will most of you, and I know that. And to end it, the thing I will always... I've talked about this many times. The two things I care about most in Magic the Gathering are that it's inclusive and a safe place for everybody, and that it is economically accessible to everyone at every level. And I just feel that the way we do collector boosters and we gatekeep economically for anything special in the game anymore is not a route that I really am happy about, not a route that I see as healthy, and is indicative of the world overall. And it's the way things are, but we don't always have to settle for the way things are, and a better world is possible. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if I'm just being a sentimental old sap or if I've got some merits. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I was young